Hello, I'm Jeannie Caldwell, and welcome to In His Presence. Parents today are blasted with advertising for baby products that don't really allow a hands-on approach to spending time with their children. Today's guest has started a line of children's books that help parents get back to grassroots parenting. Welcome, Amy. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And as I was reading all of the information you sent, I thought, I can't wait to have her on the program because I want to first hear you sing and then hear about the 5 Minibees.
Yes.
And so.
Well, for me, I'm just really excited to share these books. This first book that I've written, and I've done it in a way, it was really inspired from the children that I teach at St. Mark's and also the previous schools I've worked at. And I work specifically with children between the ages of 2 and 4. And they just absolutely loved songs that counted down, and they would ask to sing these songs over and over again. And so that kind of gave me some more ideas. Well, what are some other different rhymes that I can put together that they can use to sing along and not only just sing, but also really learn about numbers and counting down in different concepts. So with this book, I've not only put together a storyline that's more naturally musical and naturally with a lot of natural rhythms and patterns. I've peppered in some quick advice that you can give to the parents, just little tidbits that as us teachers that we do every day with their children, they can also do at home with their own children as well. So there's one that I put in that, children in preschool do a lot with their teachers is here on the bottom I have a Minibee tip. And it says, trace the numbers with your fingers. And so when children are first learning to read and to write, especially at the 3 and 4-year-old stage, they do a lot of tracing to help them with the concept of numbers and letters. So things like that where we do at school, I want to bring that home to the parents so that they have this information here and there that they can think, well, when I'm reading this story to my little one, oh, I can do this with them. This is another layer of education that's meaningful or another activity that I can do. And the idea is that parents are so busy. And I completely understand that, being a new parent myself, that most people are not going to have time to read through the graduate education books that teachers have gone through to get their degrees. There's just no time for it. So I thought, well, the best way to kind of give this information, feed this information to parents who are really busy is to put, these little tips throughout the book so that at a quick glance, they can get the information and they can apply it.
Right. Well, tell us first about your background in music and education.
Sure, yes. I grew up with music in my family. I have an older sister who's 4 years older, and she was just my hero growing up. We get along so well. She's my best friend. And she actually came home one day with a note from her grade school teacher who said, I think she has an aptitude for music. My mom saw that and read that, and she just ran with it. She got her enrolled into piano lessons. And being the younger sister, I just really admired her, and I think I just wanted to do everything that she was doing. And so naturally, I followed with piano lessons, and I picked it up very quickly, and I really enjoyed it. And a couple years down the line, I heard a family friend playing the violin, and she was just tuning the violin. There was nothing really fancy about the way she was playing it, but I remember the first time I heard that sound, I thought, that is the most glorious sound I'd ever heard, and I begged my mother, please, please let me learn the violin. And so growing up since 5, I've been playing piano and violin together, and I had extraordinary teachers who really helped me be creative and to form discipline, but also be creative. So I really focused on classical music and performance growing up. And I went to the Eastman School of Music to really further my artistry and piano performance. And then during college, doing a lot of performing, I started to find that I wasn't enjoying it as much anymore. Maybe something inside my personality had changed a little bit, but it wasn't something that I felt like I could keep going. And I think through a lot of prayer and a lot of family support, they said, Amy, I have some younger siblings too. You've always tutored your younger brother and your younger sister and, other friends in school music. Have you not considered teaching? And I said, that's so funny. You're right. I've always done it, but I never actually considered doing it as my vocation. And that's how I looked into Teachers College at Columbia and to pursue my graduate degree in music education. And that's kind of how the music performance and the music education kind of came together. And from there, I was able to get my degree, and I was able to teach at some great schools and just have such a wonderful time creating a music curriculum for just young musicians.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, talk about the Mandel School and what you did.
Yes, Mandel School was one of the first schools I worked at. And what really attracted me was that I saw that they were very organic in their philosophy. They talked about being a good citizen to others, to the community around them, and just really using the student as kind of a guideline to how we can blossom the curriculum. So I found that I had a lot of freedom in creating things that maybe were more advanced than maybe what the government might say, oh, this is the set curriculum for a music program in a school. And so at that school, I was able to really write my own program. Starting from the 2-year-old programs all the way through kindergarten at that point. And I became the director of the music program. And with that school, I worked with the theater teacher, I worked with the art teacher, I worked with the gym teacher. We all worked together to create something where the children could see, they could act, they could sing, hear things, draw things, move to music or move to games and socialize. And I think that school, because they allowed us to do that, it really made a special environment for those particular children.
Well, how have you used your music to educate children?
So I think that innately everyone has musicality in them. So by using music to teach something like numbers, that is just another layer of really emphasizing or just reinforcing a concept. So for instance, with the 5 Minibees, they're counting down 5 Minibees, 4 Minibees, 3, 2, 1, and even all the way down to 0. So the concept of no Minibees. You can use a song with illustrations or with hand movements to help reinforce the idea of, oh, I started off with 5, now I'm taking away 1. And they really have to think, oh, what's the next number down? Or a suggestion that I always tell my children or my students, well, why don't we do the whole thing backwards? So now we're counting up. So things like that where it's very flexible, you can teach many different skills and many different concepts to help them with numbers, letters, vocalizing, where a song will make them sing very low to very high, so they're not just, focused on one area of their voice. Things like acting things out. So maybe you can encourage them to express themselves by being a buzzing bee. How would a bee fly? Like zzz, things like that will get them to open up and to actually disguise teaching an actual skill without them thinking it's a textbook where you're teaching a skill, you're disguising it in a way that's very fun.
Well, I tell you what, let's watch Amy perform a song for us. When you went up the alphabet, I thought, now's the time to get her to sing. So you got here early and taped some songs. So let's hear what you did first.
All right.
All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. Moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I
That's so neat. I loved it.
I love that song. I teach it to my 3-year-olds, and we do hand movements with them. And then what we do, actually, I tell them to sing inside their head. So I have the guitar playing, but they're singing the song silently while doing the hand movements.
How
So
wonderful.
that's a great song for that.
Yeah, it is. Well, what happened when you found out you were pregnant?
I was so happy. We were thinking, you know, we've moved down here to Arkansas, and we've been here for 2 years. We've really enjoyed it here. It's so charming, and I think we're ready to start a family. And so when I found out I was pregnant, I was really excited, and I just thought, you know, this is perfect. You know, we've talked about how we would educate our family when we did start it, and me being a teacher, you know, what kind of things would I want to teach my child, my daughter, you know. Definitely we would have a heavy music influence so that she can really grow up having a great hobby, or, you know, if she chooses to become a musician professionally. So I think that really inspired me to think even deeper about, you know, me being a parent now, what would be my point of view, what would be where am I coming from to expose my child to different things.
Right. Well, what types of products for children did you find in stores?
So there are great products out there as well, you know, that like blocks and things that really have a child do spatial reasoning or being creative in building. But on the other hand, there are also toys I felt like were just so flashy and so loud that I just felt like, you know, there just needs to be some peace and quiet and some meaningful interaction. It's not just them pressing buttons all the time and having lots of things, you know, coming at them as a stimulus. And I felt, you know, those things aren't bad, but they become not as meaningful if the child is just by themselves, just playing with buttons or with flashing lights or lots of music going on. So for me, I felt, well, the best of two worlds is if you have a product that can inspire creativity, but what you really want is a person to be able to interact with your child, to make an inanimate object become something more than just a thing. So learning how maybe pressing buttons, you know, how can you use pressing buttons as an educational tool, not just to kind of put the child on the side just to keep them occupied. We want to encourage the extra energy from the parent to spend that time with your child, because that's going to be really, really meaningful down the road.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's watch a video you created to describe why you began the Minibees.
This is Junior. He is 2 years old. Yay! Junior loves to sing. La 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 la! This is Junior's mom. She wants to foster Junior's interest in music. So she goes to the store to see what she can buy. And she finds... By me! I have a robot voice. Hey, me, I spit out the light up. I sing a mini, I run for battles, nothing All right. Cut. Everybody clear the set off. It's time to cue the Minibee. Can the Minibee help me? Well, let's find out. He's coming now. What is the Minibee? First, let's start with what the Minibee is not. The Minibee is not a passive means of supplementing your child's education. Instead, the Minibee promotes a structured educational environment that is both organic and interpersonal for you and your child. To learn more about us, go to theminibee.com.
Excellent. My, that is so good. Well, why do you have such a passion for helping parents interact with their children?
I think when I started teaching at the Mandel School and a lot of parents came in to visit and to talk about the curriculum, I found that a lot of them felt really insecure about music education in particular. They would say, oh, I don't know how to sing, I don't know what to do. They felt just very unsure of themselves. And I wanted to reassure them, no, you actually have a lot of resources and you are the resource. You know, a lot of with music, you know, it's about expressing yourself. It's about having fun. It's about using a lot of your sensations to experience something. And I think with that, it made me feel, you know, if that small pool of parents that I got to meet and teach their children, I felt so insecure about using an interactive way of, you know, teaching music with their, experiencing music with their children. There must be many parents out there who maybe didn't grow up with a lot of music that feel maybe shy about singing in front of their child, or they feel like they don't know what to do. So I think with that, that started the passion of, you know, how can I explain singing with your child in a way where the parent will feel like, you know what, I can do this. I can be a part of my child's education. I don't always have to outsource it. I can outsource it and do the same thing that other people are doing and having that experience at home as well. And of course, you know, being pregnant and, you know, having my child, I think that just kind of spurred my mission more so that I feel like I do have a lot more purpose.
Right. Well, how did you develop the Minibee philosophy?
It really came from when I studied at Columbia. We had many discussions about different learning styles, and for that, that's what really solidified my philosophy about how do you touch upon children who learn the best visually, or the way they learn by feeling something, or moving kinesthetically, or hearing something. Like all these different styles that as adults we might know, oh, I learn things very visually. When I see something, I will understand the concept, or when I hear something, I'll understand it. I think that really developed the way I approach the child. When I see a child and I spend more time with him or her, I'll be like, you know what, I think that this child is someone who loves to move. And that's why in the classroom, I have to make sure that I always set a time where they're dancing or moving to music, because that's gonna help them really get the sensory information that they need to develop.
Well, what is the concept of your new book, The 5 Minibees?
So the concept, this is the first book that I wrote or written, is the concept right now is counting down. So the numbers are the first obvious concept that I'm trying to teach. Another concept that I'm teaching is patterns. So I have a lot of repetition on purpose. For instance, 5 Minibees went out to fly on a yummy cherry pie. And other concepts that I've kind of embedded is using colors to coordinate with the color of the pies. And the other repetition pattern that I put in is the farmer's wife shooed them away. So there's a section where a child who might not know how to read yet can have a lot of fun saying shoe, shoe, shoe. And it's a cue for them to know, oh, this is the place where I can say shoe, shoe, shoe. So that's gonna help a child kind of develop their intuition of, oh, I know that when it comes to this part, that's the fun part to do. And here, as I repeat a lot in the book, so 1 Minibee flew home that day. And as the child gets to know the book more and more, they'll be prompted to know where to read it and letter recognition and those type of concepts. And on the bottom on certain pages, I always have a Minibee tip for the parents. For instance, this one says, identify the color of the pies. So you can talk to your child, oh, look, this is blue and purple. Or for instance, have a little. This one is a cookie pie. Cookies, chocolate, or has a brown color or a golden color. You can talk about those concepts with them. This one says, follow the paths of the Minibee up and down with your voice. So you might find a little dotted line. You might go zzz, just for fun. Just little things to integrate to kind of add on more and more layers of activities just from a book.
Right. Well, let's watch Amy perform the song that goes along with the book.
Five Minibees went out to fly on a yummy cherry pie. The farmer's wife shooed them away. Shoo, 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 and one Minibee flew home that day. Four Minibees went out to fly on a yummy blueberry pie. The farmer's dog shooed them away. Woof, 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 and one Minibee flew home that day. Three Minibees went out to fly on a yummy cookie pie. The farmer's son shooed them away. Shoo, 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 and one Minibee flew home that day. Two Minibees went out to fly on a yummy apple pie. The farmer's cat shooed them away. Meow, 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 and one Minibee flew home that day. One Minibee went out to fly on a yummy strawberry pie. The farmer shooed that bee away. Shoo, 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 and that one Minibee flew home that day. Zero Minibees went out to fly on any kind of yummy pie. No one had to shoo them away because all the Minibees stayed home that day.
That is so neat. Well, what are the three anchors of the Minibee philosophy?
Well, we talked about, we like to talk about parents with grassroots parenting and it being organic, which means when I talk about it being organic, you're leading, you're having your child kind of lead you in the direction that they're kind of blossoming in, and just having it being grassroots, so that it's not. Technology is not a bad thing, but then also making sure that you spend that just the basic human interaction together, so that you're really kind of nurturing the social part of your child.
Right. Okay, so do you have the chart here, or is that what we were showing on? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I talked about before, the different styles of learning,
Yeah.
auditory, what you're listening to, visually, what you see, kinesthetically is when kids really like to move, and tactile when they need to feel something. So having all those different sensories put together, maybe one particular one is more emphasized or they gravitate towards, but essentially all those sensory parts that we experience is important to touch upon.
Well, how do you use this approach to develop your curriculum?
So with my curriculum, I always make sure that I have an activity that's visual, that is where they have to listen to it, one that they have to move to, and one where they might touch or hold hands with somebody else. And so if I incorporate all those different activities into the classroom, I know that I will at least reach out to some part of that child's kind of learning style one way or the other. So based on those, I will pick out games or pick out songs that will kind of incorporate those sensory styles.
Wonderful. Well, how can our viewers purchase the 5 Minibees?
Yes, we have a website called theminibee.com, and on that website it's connected to our Amazon, so you can purchase it right through there, and that's really our main means of purchasing right now.
So it's a new book.
Well, I have a lot of ideas for my next books once I get a little bit more settled with my newborn. But there are my other books that I'm ready to make and to illustrate are books that will help children vocalize specifically. So they will be almost basically no word books, but there'll be books that will have them sing up and down and following illustrations with that. And I think that is the next step in helping little ones, 2 to 4-year-olds, really expand their vocal range.
Right. Well, if you'd like to contact Amy at the Minibee, write to Post Office Box 1506, Little Rock, Arkansas 72203. Or visit her online at theminibee.com or call area 501-301-4834. And what are your plans for the future? You've got so many things on the fire.
Yes. Well, we definitely want to grow our family and to be able to make more books when I'm not working at the school. And I think just really to see where God leads us and our family here in Little Rock.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, I appreciate so much you coming and sharing with everybody what you're doing with the 5 Minibees. I know that you're going to have some people contact you on that. And I'll be surprised if they don't. Well, do you have any last quick thoughts?
I think last thoughts is I really just want to share this with everyone, all the families and parents, and I want them to enjoy these precious times with their children.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I want you to remember, in His presence is fullness of joy. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us today for In His Presence. You can write Jeannie Caldwell at Post Office Box 22007, Little Rock, Arkansas 72221. Or email her at jeanniecaldwell@vtntv.com. To order a DVD of today's program, call 1-800-264-2525 and ask for the offer number on the screen. Join us next time as we meet in His presence.